school of fish swimming by. It looks like mangrove snapper. It's one of the cool things I really like about living here on the waterfront. You get to see fish all the time. You get to go fishing if you want to. Easy access. You have a boat. It's all the things you would expect are awesome about it. One of the things Deb got me a few years ago were these underwater fish lights, and they're amazing. They attract fish at night. They come on automatically. They're designed so that they heat up enough that they prevent any growth from growing on the bulbs themselves. Works wonderful. But what nobody talks about is the fact that on the housings of them, they absolutely get growth depending on the richness of the water you're in. And we do get that here. As a matter of fact, when we had the sailboat here, we had to have somebody come and dive the boat every single month to scrape it. That's how much it grew. Barnacles, mussels, oysters, all that kind of stuff growing along the seawalls and the pylons and everything else. So what we ran into is the light bulbs are perfectly clean, but it has these sort of metal housings around the bulbs. Those absolutely get growth on them, and cannot find anywhere online it really talks about a good way of cleaning these things. Certainly you don't want to dive into the water every month and scrape them, right? So let me show you how we go about doing it. I hope it helps you. All right, so I have ensured that these are unplugged from the power source, and you can see what I'm talking about here. I'll zoom in on this, but you can see the growth all over this top protective coating here, even on the base and on the power cords to some extent. This one's not as bad as the one over here. Let me zoom in and show you how these look. You can see here, this one's not as bad as the other one, but as I come over to this one, you can just see the growth. Now, the growth, if you look, is not on the light bulb itself. You know, see, the light bulb is clear, but this outer cage has a lot on there. I'm going to show you the right way we can go ahead and get these set up. I'm going to put them in some water real quick because I don't want them to harden up on there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this back in the water because I don't want this stuff to dry in here. So I'm going to take this one bulb that's not as bad. I'm just going to put it in a bucket of water here. There we go. And let me just put this down below the dock here. So with that in there, let's go ahead and now start working on this second one. Nothing all that scientific about this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our light bulb. And again, I showed you this thing has a lot of growth on it. I'll put that right down inside of here. And now we are going to cover this up in pure vinegar. I have heard people that say dilute this. However, I called the company that manufactures these lights, and they said if you have thick growth, you probably want to use straight vinegar, or probably no more diluted than 75% vinegar, 25% water. And what this does is the vinegar is going to break down the calcium and whatnot in the shellfish, the shell life. Now, if you are one of these folks that would not be able to do this because of the shellfish you're ultimately killing, right? These barnacles that are on here. No, sorry, but I've got to get these things clean, so we're okay doing it. I'll bring the camera in here and show it in just a moment. I'm also going to coil up this cord because I have some pretty good growth on the cord itself. You see what I mean? Like that's a full-blown oyster right there. 4 gallons will probably do it here. I don't know if you can see the little bubbles there rising up off of it. That is beginning to disintegrate and eat up some of the calcium in the shells that adhere these things to that. And we'll check back in 24 to 48 hours. All right, it's been about 48 hours now later after this has been soaking in vinegar. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this out, and I'm suspecting it's working pretty well because I can see some sort of dilapidated mussels here on the side of this. Start by grabbing the wire. So while this may not look like it's much, I will show you this. Look at this. These are just popping right off of here. So I suspect a little bit of a spray of a hose, this will come right off. But I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to get the next one into this vinegar. And I'm going to pop this whole guy in here, and then I'm going to put the cord in there as well. All right, move this over this way. There's all the dilapidated shellfish. We'll see if we can just do this with a hose or if I'm going to have to scrub brush it a little bit as well. And I've gone ahead and zoomed in on this just to show you what this kind of looks like as we spray it.
off of there pretty easy. I'm just grabbing a couple little bits of it here where the grass is stuck to it. But now I'm going to put this in a bucket of water, not vinegar, just so that they stay submerged. All right, we're gonna let this one soak for 48 hours in the vinegar, and then we'll do the exact same thing over here. All right, so it's another 2 days later. Thus the change of outfits every single time. Actually, I'm gonna brush this a little bit as I pull this out of here. Let's go ahead and pull this out of here and kind of show you what it looks like. And it's definitely still got a lot of stuff on it, but just like the other one, these just, what used to be shells and barnacles, are just soft. They kind of come right off, most of them. That one's a little crunchy. Now, I'm going to put it in here and just brush this a little bit. Mainly getting the vegetation and growth off of it. It's nice just using this little backside of this plastic dish scraper or dish brush. You know, just kind of getting most of these right off of there. All right, set that right down here. We'll get that cleaned off with the hose in a second. I'll kind of show you what we're going to do here. I'm just going to take my regular hose. I'm just going to spray right down on that. I'm spraying it just kind of heavy to get some of the loose vegetation off that I scraped loose. But you can see, even these, where that's still on there, it's breaking off that easily. Got our other one. I think now it's going to be time to just put these into some fresh water until we put them back out into the canal. And with that, they're sitting in fresh water. We'll deploy them out into the water tomorrow. I think we've got it done. I hope you guys found this useful. I really was surprised that I found almost nothing at all on how best to clean these things, and this works really well, and it'll save you from just throwing away and rebuying the new housings that go on the outside. So these will definitely last quite a while, and if every year I have to soak them in some vinegar, yeah, not a big deal. All right, so it cost me 20 bucks for a couple of bottles of vinegar, and yeah, all good, right? So listen, tomorrow night or so, 30 seconds later in this video, I'm sure, we'll be out here in the evening. We'll show you what they look like once they're redeployed.